So what is esoteric numerology? Well, numerology began when life began, because in the beginning there was one. The vibrations then began, and the two appear, the first pair, and usher in the real beginning of universal geometry. Numbers by themselves represent universal principles through which all things evolve and continue to grow in cyclic fashion. The digits 1 through 9 symbolize the stages through which an idea must pass before it becomes a reality. All manifestation is the result of these 9 stages. Esoteric numerology is the art and science of understanding the spiritual significance and orderly progression of all manifestation. Every word or name vibrates to a number, and every number has its inner meaning. The letter and number code, when rightly understood and applied, brings us into a direct and close relationship with the underlying intelligence of the universe. We, of course, we're going to talk about Pythagoras in another lecture. However, we owe much of our spiritual and scientific understanding of numbers to Pythagoras. Pythagoras has been known and called as the father of mathematics. Pythagoras is most commonly remembered for the Pythagorean theorem, which states that the square of the hypotenuse of a right triangle is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. However, Pythagoras was primarily a mystic and a philosopher. The truth is that in this course we're going to learn about the divine triangle, and the divine triangle is the extension of the Pythagorean theorem. Pythagoras believed that all things were numbers, and that numbers represented spiritual entities whose presence is felt in all existence. He discovered the mystical significance of numbers, noting that numbers 1 through 9 stand microscopically for universal principles. On a personal level, we will learn through this course that the numbers 1 through 9 stand for the characteristics, abilities, and events of a person. Pythagoras found out number patterns and geometrical ratios in explanations of natural phenomena, musical harmony, and tonal qualities. Probably you have heard about the music of the spheres. Pythagoras taught us that evolution is the law of life, number is the law of the universe, unity is the law of God. He believed that everything in the universe was subject to predictable progressive cycles. Before his students could proceed into the Pythagorean mysteries, they have to know the 4 sciences. One was arithmetic, the other one was music, the other one astronomy, and finally geometry. Pythagoras, as we will learn later, was born around 582 BC on the Greek island of Samos in the Aegean Sea. He learned the science of numbers and Kabbalistic principles when he studied with Zoroaster, the Persian sage, and have learned the Kabbalah in Judea. We're going to learn later on how numerology is one of the oldest analytical techniques in the world. that can be traced back to the Babylonians. The ancient Egyptians have their own numerology system with occult powers attributed to each number. They use numerology as a means of understanding human psychology. Judaism holds what is probably the greatest key to the lore of numerology through the Kabbalah, a secret mystical text containing the philosophical science of numbers. In the 13th century, scholars of the Kabbalah developed the gematria, a method of interpreting the Bible whereby inferences were drawn from the numerical value of the letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Using this method, Kabbalist scholars will search for hidden meanings in the texts of the Old Testament. These meanings are still found today. Walk with me to learn more about esoteric numerology and how to find your personal numbers and your soul contract. I'll see you soon.